Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Assalamu alaikum. I'm actually traveling to Pune, India right now for our leadership summit here and having a lot of fun, learning a lot about Gen AI and so many things happening. One thing I'll touch on, and we're going to be talking about, using GitHub. We all use GitHub, and GitHub is a tremendous resources for any software. A lot of people publishes all these open source tools, and we are very much depending on that one, using those things. Also, we use for our projects, we publish those projects. For most of our repositories, I think number one developer's choice for repository is GitHub. But regardless, that's not the thing that I wanted to talk about. This is the number one. But how do you use GitHub? And there is so many different ways that you can truly use GitHub. And I'm learning so many of these things. I figured out I'll share it. And maybe I'm going to try to finish up because I actually have to, go outside, do some exercise, and then afterward we'll get to work today. We have a lot of fun days, things we're learning. So if you look at my website, I just went to a GitHub public site. I did log in, so I am logged in. You don't have to, but you actually have to log in to do some of the functions. So that's why I logged in. As you can see, that I have various login things. I can swipe. I can change my login parameter. This is my personal GitHub account. Regardless, any way you wanted to do, I logged in, and one of my favorite one is N8N GitHub repository. And this is a very nice one. I think I've shown you this one a few times already. I like it because it gives you the N8N MCP, and with N8N you can build so many different workloads, so many different workload automation. So let's talk about the first one. Let's say I want to make this GitHub repo to a document. So I'm just going to copy this, come to one of the prompt, and I'll leave that, change the GitHub portion, and I type git to doc, TODOC, git instead of hub to doc. Okay, so if I actually hit enter, git to doc, give me 1 second, hopefully it's gonna work shortly. And it is okay. Did I copy it properly? Yep, I did. It just took a little extra time from network side. Now you see that it came to git to doc, and then I'm just gonna click on processing, create that document. So what it does, it actually creates a document, and I can look into the document at this moment. I can see that GitHub had so many different things, and I want to know the tree structure and the file. What are the things that I have? You can see the directory. This is where he started, and then afterward all the folders that he has, and everything is broken down. So I just have a technical documentation fully completed. And even though in GitHub is the code repository, now I have all the components very well documented. Everything is there. Okay, that's the first one. So let me go to the next one. So you understand the git to doc portion. Give me 1 second. I will actually go back to that GitHub. The next thing that I like to show you is git ingest, INGEST, git ingest. Okay, instead of hub, change it to ingest. Okay, if you do that one, and I just typed in git ingest, and it just went into it, and you see this becomes LLM friendly, essentially large language friendly documentation and context. It gives you some summary. Again, we learned about the directory structure. Now let's say I want to cut and paste, copy this directory structure and build an application like the way you have seen we build with Lovable or any other vibe coding platform. You can copy this as is, or you can exclude some of the item. Let's say I don't want this license. I just click on that button and it excludes license, and I don't want that, whatever Docker file test, and it just started to do that. And then when you copy it, it will copy without those files. So this is a really good one. And again, these are all open source. If you wanted to do it, you can copy this, or you can also copy each of the files the way they have it explained. This is the README file and the content of each of the files that you can do. And so this is a very good one, Git ingest. Typically, you wanted to do it for to make it, in my opinion, to make it LLM friendly. Like I wanted to post it for vibe coding. I wanted to get this to my whatever the coding platform that I have. I wanted to build something out of it. So this is a really good way to take any GitHub repo which is publicly available, or your own GitHub repo, and you can use the Git ingest one. And again, this is open source. Everything that I'm showing will be open source anyway. So let me go back to the GitHub. So far what you have seen, okay, hold on one second. I'm gonna try to add one item at a time. Git to doc, we did it. Git ingest, we did it. Now the next thing I'm gonna show you is the Git diagram. Let me just type that up. So what Git diagram does, it creates a diagram. Amazing, it just created. Very quickly, very rapidly, it actually created the whole thing. So you can see this is the diagram. I believe this is like a mermaid format, but again, you can see that, and I can enable zoom essentially, so I can zoom in, zoom out. You can see all these details, or you can have it as standard, and you can look into this. See, it has a configuration loader, and there are some. It loads the environment. And then it loads, there are loaders and parsers. Then you get the transport layer, HTTP request, MCP, RPCs, remote procedure calls. And then you started to see these things, and this is main MCP engine and handlers. And of course, it uses all these services like N10. What are the nodes they have? They validate all these nodes. They want to make sure that it reads the document before it creates those N10 workflow automation, and it calls some of the external services. And you can see it actually uses the Node.js framework. So what it does, really, any GitHub repo you put it in, it just creates and amazingly speaking, it creates a diagram for you. Okay, and you can customize the diagram if you like to, and you can give some instructions, and which is an AI based, and you can do that as well. So again, going to Git diagram would actually make it a basically excellent choice for you to build any GitHub repository into a technical diagram or a technical architecture. Okay, so that's one of those things. So I'm going to show you one more area which is called Git for me, and Git for me is the one that I just put it in. I create a cook, and then you can see that same one, which is copied and pasted, Git for me. And the URL is gitforme.tech. So you can search Git for me. And then as soon as I did it, look, very quickly, it actually created, again, it's a mind map type of things. You can look into the directory. All the folders are here listed right here. It actually creates a LLM context if you want to do that. If you wanted to build anything in that range, like maybe you wanted to use it for some of your LLM component or something that you are building, it gives you the file map that I told you. Let's say I have one of the file map, let's say GitHub. Double click on that one, and you can start to see the GitHub and the files associated with that, and you can click on that one, and you get to see that YAML file as well. So again, regardless, if you wanted to double click on workflow, you get to see all the workflow files. This is the YAML file that we were looking at, the pages.yaml. But again, you can look into any of the folders, and you can go back to that, and you get to see all those associated files, because a lot of time human beings are typically visual. So if I wanted to see something, I wanted to feel it, like I wanted to see the whole thing first, and then I want to deep dive. Oh, okay, then I want to know this, what this document has, what the license has, and any of those things. If I'm interested, I can just click that button and it would populate right here. And I'm just zooming in and zooming out based on your Mac or Windows user. You can scroll up, down, and very, very visual. So this particular one, the Git for me, allows us to get to, again, a visual representation of all the files and the folders as such. It also provides the similar things like the timeline when things are happening, all this history component of it, the issues, how many of them resolved, how many of them open, and if you want, some of the problems that you can resolve as well. And it also provides some sort of insight, like how long it takes, typically average merge time, based on the last 29 PRs. And also you get to see the acceptance rate as well, and some of the outdated packages. So there is so many things, so many data you can get. Again, this is gitforme.tech. You can search for it, and you started to see you can have a ton of fun. This particular one, you do have to log in into your GitHub account. It doesn't read without you logging into it, because it goes a little bit deeper into that. Okay, and then the next one I wanted to show you, it's called gitmcp.io. I've shown this one to you before. What it does, it actually builds an MCP server for your GitHub repository, and that's a really interesting proposition. So let's say we're gonna type this. This is the URL for the GitHub, that whatever, it could be yours, it could be anybody's. And then if I click on to MCP, what it does, it just created an MCP server for you, for Cloud Desktop if you wanted to do it this way, for Cursor, Windsurf, or VS Code if you want to do it. It actually provides this way. So again, I just downloaded Kiro today, which is Amazon's vibe coding, AWS's vibe coding environment. It was fun. Like, I just got that license key today. I joined the waitlist and it started to build some stuff. Hopefully we're gonna do actually a video on that one at some point. I'll try to get some solution architects and senior solution architects from AWS so they can help us understand that particular one. That was on a side note, but let me go back to this. So we know there is a lot of MCP server users, especially in the GenAI world. So if you really wanted to use that GenAI component, you need to have MCP. MCP is one of the core ones, which is Model Context Protocol. We had a really good video on that one as well. So you wanted to build something, you just come to gitmcp.io, copy and paste that one, and it just create that MCP server for you. It's truly amazing. And now you can chat with that docs online, and you can ask any question, it will give you that answer. It uses Qwen, it has GPT-4 Mini, it has various different component LLMs, so you can ask those questions. Now again, I'm gonna go back, gitmcp.io, and if I put that in, his thing that was ready already, and you can just go to the chat and it's ready. Chat with N8N MCP docs, okay? Because that's the URL that I did. If I wanted to ask how many nodes are in N8N today, let me see if it comes back with any answer. Again, it's gonna read, the tool provides do not have access to the official N8N document, only the GitHub repository documentation. Okay, fantastic. A Copilot plugin for N8N. Okay, to find the number of nodes, you should consult the official N8N documentation. See, that's another interesting thing. So what I should do, why don't we do this? I'm gonna go to GitHub N8N docs. Okay, so I'm gonna go to N8N docs. I will copy this because that's what I want to know. Why not, and go to gitmcp.io. As you know, this is our style. We learn through when we type. Okay, so I went to N8N docs. How many nodes are in N8N today? And sometimes we face the error and we try to solve it. Most of the time we're able to solve it, sometimes we're not. But it is actually reading that doc. It's doing some reasoning because we're using Quen. Quen is a code from Alibaba, and that's really good. Let me see what's the answer. The number of nodes available is not explicitly documented in public documentation repository. The N8N marketplace URL could not be accessed. Okay, and the documentation does not include a specific count of nodes. For most accurate nodes, okay, go to n8n.io or the community forum for announcement or discussion. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, yes, I want to have a little bit more guidance for future. So it gives you some of the guidance. Again, this is basically a chatbot from GitMCP. It goes into that document. If you want to ask a particular question, why don't I go to that GitHub N8N MCP server, and GitHub N8N docs, and I'm gonna find something and I'll ask a question, see if it can really answer that question per se. Why don't I do this? What is the prerequisite for Python? That's a good question. Let me see if I can get that answer. What is the requisite Python minimum version? Okay, so what's the prerequisite Python minimum version? Let's see, 3.8. Minimum Python version preview N8N doc is 3.8. So if you ask a specific question, you can get that answer as long as they have the document. One thing actually interesting, because if I don't have the data into that doc, it doesn't give you that answer, but it does provide you guidance on it because of the fact it has reasoning models per se. So it's very good. So we learned quite a bit of stuff in how to use some of the tools in Git. Like we learned Git to doc, Git ingest, Git for me, as well as MCP, Git MCP, and these are all and Git diagram, of course. These are all things and tools that you can use in GitHub, because GitHub is so amazingly used tools. I feel like that this is something that we need to know. I've seen that quite a bit. A lot of people want to know, and I had a question from somebody like, okay, how do I interpret that GitHub? Can I write a code, write an application to? Yes, you can, and that's also publicly available anyway. I think it's called Git repo or something like that, Git RPT, Git RPT or something. No, Git GPT, sorry, Git GPT. So Git GPT is a natural language command line for Git assistant. So you can actually download, you can do that from CLI, you can do a bunch of different things. A lot of people provided, build a lot of tools and made it public and open source. So if you have some good ideas and you have created something, open source it, publish for everybody to use. So this is the AI world, this is an open source world. This innovation flows in. Hopefully all of you are going to be building the next generation and amazing tools. I'm expecting you're going to be empowering everybody to make some amazing ideas. So make all of us proud, be positive, have some fun, and take enable everybody else around you. With that, I wanted to finish up today. Thank you very, very much. I am actually talking to you today from Pune, India. And thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.